Institute for this marvelous gathering here. Thank you to the Spanish Embassy as well. And thank you to Acción Cultural, which is the Spanish promotion agency, for bringing Javier to India. Javier Montes, born in Madrid in 1976, he's an author hailing from the generation that started writing in the mid to late 2000s, the naught years. He belongs to the first generation, really, of Spanish authors who traveled widely, for their academic studies, for their academic pursuits. He has referred in the Jaipur Festival before, we had a talk there, and he was referring to his generation as one generation that is not unified by just one aesthetic. It's a generation that has a plurality of voices, writing in the different languages of Spain, which there are 5 recognized by our constitution, and very much alive, also in the literary sense. So it's not a generation that is unified by a language, it's not a generation that is unified by an aesthetic, but it's a generation that is unified by a different experience, by the way they have inserted themselves in society, in a country, Spain, that is modern, that belongs to the European Union, that has been open for business, for travel, for exchanging influences all around the world for the last 20 years. So it's really a generation that is very much linked to all the avant-gardes in the major Western countries, and it's a generation that is experimenting, treading new ground, looking for new things and topics to rekindle and enliven our literature. So today we thought of introducing to the Indian audience his last book. It's an essay with some elements of fiction in it, with some elements of the author recollections meshed into the thread of the narration. And it's called Stranded in Rio. That's the English translation. It was published last year, in April last year, I believe. Yes? Oh, this year? 2017. All right. So it feels longer than that. And basically we're going to start here with a question to Javier on the subject of where this idea for this book, Stranded in Rio, came upon. What sort of investigation, what sort of research, what did you intend to do with this book when you started writing it?
Thank you everybody for coming. Thank you to Oxford Bookstore for having us, to Cervantes, and it's wonderful stuff to make the effort of having us present here. I hope you're kind of understanding what I'm saying. Yeah, but if I don't, or I tend to drop the microphone, which is something I tend to do, just let me know and wake up. Okay. Before getting into the subject of this precise book, let me put in context, because I know that some of you might be familiar with the Spanish-speaking literature, but by now maybe not so familiar with the Spanish literature from Spain, because the thing is, the language has become so widely spoken, and by now it must have something between 500 and 600 million speakers as a first mother tongue all across the Atlantic, mainly Latin America, Spain of course, and then almost 50 million people having it as mother tongue in the United States. That it doesn't really belong to Spain anymore at all. No? It's more or less even almost the contrary. Sometimes one feels that one owes more to the Spanish-speaking writers across the ocean than the other way around. So by now you are all probably very familiar with Latin American writers such as García Márquez or Vargas Llosa or Octavio Paz, who happen to live here and write about India in a wonderful way, but maybe not so familiar with Spanish authors from Spain. this kind of, we have become a rarity almost, no? An exotic thing. As David said, I was born in 1976, which means that I was born 1 year after Franco died. Franco was this dictator or military dictator who ruled Spain for the last for 40 years, immediately after the Civil War and up to the year 1975. That means that I was born into a democracy that kind of was still establishing itself and so on. And when I got to my maturity, if I ever got there, but let's say to my mid-20s, late 20s, my generation had been growing up and formed in a country that was very, very different from the country the previous generation had met. Meaning that it had joined the European Union, it had become theoretically, and then it turned out that it wasn't so much so, but it had become a very prosperous country, or it seemed so at the time. My generation had the chance of traveling, as David was said, of studying foreign languages, of getting in touch with writers from different traditions and different Spanish or non-Spanish speaking literary traditions. We got to travel very soon to festivals, to literary meetings, invited by universities all over the world and so on. That was extremely nice. That meant also that by the time I got into writing and into publishing, Spain, Spanish authors from Spain, Spaniards, had stopped being as cool as they had been in the late 70s and early 80s, when everybody was interested in Europe and out of Europe, everybody was interested in seeing what was going on in a democratic Spain, everybody was wanting to listen to new voices from a country that was kind of becoming of age in a democratic way and so on. I'm talking about a previous generation. It was called the New Spanish Narrative. You might be familiar with Javier Montes, with Enrique Villamatas, with Soledad Puertolas, Carmen Martinelli, a wide range of authors that were in their 40s, late 40s, early 50s by when I got to writing. That gave us, my generation, freedom in terms that we weren't that, we didn't feel the pressure of being representatives of a country. We were, we had the freedom of being more individualistic, maybe, of being more cosmopolitan, of being related to different traditions other than the Spanish-speaking tradition, all the way from Cervantes to our days and so on. And then on the other side, we had the feeling of being less present in the international dialogue as our predecessors had been. When I got to publishing my first books, the focus, international focus, was rather on Latin American writing. Of course, the United States and the English-speaking market was then and is still very influential and very powerful, and of course, and rightly so, the academia in the United States and the publishing market around the United States and Canada and North America was very much interested in what was going on in Latin America, which of course for geographical and cultural reasons felt like almost the backyard sometimes of what was going on in the States. So let's say that being a writer from Spain, being born immediately after Franco died and coming of age in the mid-2000s, immediately before a big economic crisis in Spain that still carries on, and that meant that a whole idea of a European, developed, powerful country was put into question, so to speak. Being an author from that particular context was both, as I said in Jaipur, a mixed blessing, let's say. No, it was good in terms that you didn't feel like exotic or almost too autochthonous. You felt free to be a writer of the world, of the wide world, in one way. In the other, it felt as if you had stopped being cool and interesting on your own. You had to fight for attention, so to speak. You didn't earn attention the easy way the previous generation had when I don't know, literary critics from France or Germany or the English-speaking world went to Spain or focused on Spain to see what was going on. In my case, and in the case of my peers and colleagues, both male and female, we had to go out and reach for them and tell them, listen, I might not be as sociologically interesting as my predecessors had been, but still our voices have become more European, more day-to-day, more you might find it interesting to see what happens with the generation that has grown up in a more cosmopolitan context as well. That was the context for the thing. No? Now for my books, and then I promise I will speak about my very last book. As I said, the range of subjects and the range of tones and literary voices we had access to when I was in my mid-20s was very wide. No? You didn't feel forced to follow just the Spanish authors. You had, I mean, the whole literary world, the whole literary tradition, both continental, Latin American, Anglo-Saxon, Eastern, Indian, was at the tips of your fingers by then. So I wouldn't say I'm mainly a fiction writer, although I wrote an essay with one of my colleagues, with Andrés Barba, who happened to be here last year, if I correctly remember. The range of subjects and the range of fiction, fictionalizing ideas and things was very wide. Now, from the very beginning, I was sure I wanted to be a fiction writer. My main books have all been fiction. By 2010, as David said, Granta, the literary magazine, which is maybe well known here as well, had decided to make a list on the most interesting, let's say, according to them, of course, young Spanish-speaking writers, both from Latin America and Spain, and they considered my books for that list as well. So that meant that the whole range of subjects and ideas was very wide. And in that particular anthology, you had a bigger picture of what was going on in Spanish-speaking fiction, both this side, the Spanish side of the Atlantic, and in Latin America as well. For that particular anthology, they chose a chapter of the book I was writing at the time. It was called The Hotel Life. It was the first book of mine to be translated into English. Pero publicó the last. And that was a proper fiction about a character that kind of interested me, the idea of a person who spends his life reviewing hotels. It's a job I wouldn't mind to do for a while. No? And the idea of impermanence and of permanent traveling and of not belonging somewhere and where's home, that kind of ideas. And this idea of the person who's perpetually in transit, of people who don't really know where's home anymore, what do you call home these days, when you spend your whole life traveling from one place to another and missing home and then going home and realizing it's not exactly what you were missing or what you thought you were missing. I think this is a common experience shared by many of us these days. The subject, the subject of the person who feels inside, even when he's home, or who feels like constantly trying to find a place that could be called home, was interesting enough for me to write another book about it. And that would be about stranded in Rio. Varados is the Spanish word for stranded. You know, the ships can either board. They moor. They can either sink, and that's it, that's forever, or they can be stranded. That means that they are caught in, for example, in a bank of sand, and that is a tricky situation, because the ship might keep going if the tides are helpful and the situation changes and the sea is favorable. The ship might continue its travel.
but for the time being it's caught up in the place where it is. So it's not sunk, it's not sailing, it's an intermediate way of being in the world, which is sometimes the way I think we all do from time to time, like waiting for something to happen that might keep you going, and then at the same time, for the time being, just being caught and having to make do with whatever you have around you, and having to turn whatever you bump into a kind of a secondary home or an ersatz of what you would call home or you would like to call home. It happened to me in Rio de Janeiro. Rio de Janeiro, as you well know, is the former capital of Brazil, which is sometimes I happened to live there in Brazil for 2 years. Brazil is already an exception and an intermediate way of being Latin American, because it's a huge country. You know, it belongs to what they call BRICS, together with India and Russia and China. It does feel like India sometimes, meaning that it is a continent in its own. The diversity, the landscapes, the diversity of cultures, of autochthonous languages, of different cultural backgrounds is enormous, as the Indian is. It has a colonial past, and not a very jolly one, as India has as well. Portugal was the metropolis in that particular case, and you know, the language was introduced. I mean, you know how languages can be both a mixed blessing and a curse as well. No? They unite, but then they also repress. Well, there's lots of things to be told about. So, but the main thing is that Brazil speaks Portuguese, which means that it creates its own cultural ecosystem, both related and unrelated to the rest of Latin America, where they speak Spanish. You know, so I happen to be living there for very long reasons that I won't go into now. But if you happen to read the book, there's a bit of an explanation there. And when I was there, I felt both extremely intrigued by a huge country that was almost a small scale. To deal with that feeling and to deal with that subject, which is a common thread in many of my books of belonging and not belonging at the same time to a place, I decided that instead of writing a pure novel, which is interesting but maybe not the instrument I needed to deal with that particular feeling, and instead of writing just an essay or a memoir of my own experience of Rio, which was not interesting even to me, I can imagine a whole book on my ramblings and thoughts about being an exile and so on. I thought it would have been interesting to see what happened to writers who had lived in Rio before I did. And it turned out that they were fantastic characters. And it turned out that Rio, I don't know if any of you knows, but of course we all know without knowing, because it's one of these places that can be a symbol as well. No? Rio is a real place, definitely, and with real problems and real inequality and violence and all sorts of urban planning problems. So it is a difficult place to be, to live in. And then also it is a symbolic place. It belongs to a mental map where Xanadu and Shangri-La and El Dorado and so many other imaginary places belong. No? It's a land that can feel as the promised land, as a place where everything is fantastic, where the sun shines every day, where music and carnival is perpetual and so on. No? So I wanted to see what happened when you were exiled, or when a writer was exiled in a place that is supposed to be a paradise. I think, at least in Western Europe and in the Judeo-Christian tradition, we are taught and we are used since very little to feel exiled in a valley of tears, as they say, the Christian tradition says. No? We are used to feeling exiled in a terrible place. We are used to wait for a better future. We are used to think of living in this planet Earth as a kind of transient purgatorium from which we will be delivered when we get to paradise. But what happens when you are already in paradise. That what happens when you are exiled, not in a horrible place from which you hope to escape, but in the actual paradise you were supposed to flee to when things got better. No? What happens when you are exiled in what everybody would call paradise, and yet you're not happy, and yet you're not satisfied. And researching and seeing what happened with previous writers who have lived there, I found out that it is a very tricky situation. It's a situation we can all feel sometimes, and that was it. No? The four writers who happened to live in Rio, Brazil, before I had been there, were the most famous one, the one you might be more familiar with, is Stefan Zweig, who was a Jewish Austrian writer who fled to Brazil when the Nazis took on Austria. He had been a very successful writer on his own, and then he ended up in Rio where he committed suicide, and a very tricky kind of suicide because he was 60 by when he killed himself. He had married first, his second wife was just 30, so was half his age, and they committed suicide together. No? So it's a very tragic piece of European history and European writing. The other writers were North American poet Elizabeth Bishop, very interesting one in her own rights, and by now, according to North American critics, maybe the most interesting North American poet in the 20th century. And then a very interesting Spanish from Spain, female writer, Rosa Chatel, who was a Republican writer from the previous years to the Civil War in Spain, who went into exile. Spanish language writers, Spaniard writers, went to, after the Civil War, fled Spain and went into exile in Latin America and North America. And she chose the worst possible country to go to exile to, because as I said, Brazil is not a Spanish-speaking country. She chose the only country where her books were not available, where nobody had ever heard of her, where everything was much more difficult than in other big cultural hubs as Mexico or Buenos Aires. So she had a difficult kind of exile, and she spent there 40 years until she went back to Spain in the 70s after Franco died and was recognized as the major literary figure she had been before the war. And then there would be a fourth writer, an Argentinian. As I said, for Spanish-speaking authors, part of the wonderful thing of being a part of a big cultural community as the Spanish-speaking community means that you can read so many interesting authors in their original language. Manuel Puig, the author I'm talking about, is one of them. He's an Argentinian. He was an Argentinian. He died already. You might remember his most well-known book was The Kiss of the Spider Woman. It was turned into a film, and he even won an Oscar for this movie in the mid-80s. And he was a very peculiar kind of writer who spent his life fleeing from Argentina. Argentina was under its military dictatorship in the 80s. He was gay. He was not at all agreeing to the political situation in Argentina at the time. So he fled Buenos Aires to never come back, and he spent 10 years in Rio as well. So that made for a very interesting bunch of disparate authors who still had things in common, and to be totally honest, they were fantastic characters. They almost felt as too good to be true in terms of fiction characters. What they went through, the ways they chose to live their lives, the ways they died or they committed suicide, and things were almost too interesting to be true. They felt more like fiction characters sometimes, and they were also, and that's a bit unfair to them, but you never should trust, you should never trust an author because he will betray you the moment you respect the rest. I felt I betrayed them a little bit because I was using them as proxies and as substitutes for myself. Sometimes you feel about writing with your own voice, and sometimes you just feel that you need other people's voices and other writers' voices to express what you felt and what you went through. No? So this book is both a memoir in disguise. It's an essay, of course. It has bits of biography in it, and it does have bits of fiction in it. And later, if you want to see how it feels, even if it's not in the original language, I might read a couple of pages from the book itself, a little excerpt, so you get to know or get to feel how the voice was and what the book was about. No? And hopefully, before it very quickly gets translated into English, this couple of English-speaking magazines, Brick, you might know it's a Canadian and North American literary magazine founded by Michael Ondaatje, the writer who did the English Patient and so on. They are very interested in new voices and Latin American voices and so on, and they were as generous enough as to publish already a couple of excerpts of the book in English. So it was fantastically translated by Anne Maglin, an English-speaking translator who has translated interesting authors as Vilamatas or Javier Cercas or other Spanish-speaking authors. And they considered it was interesting to have bits of Balados already translated into English. I might read from that, and you might get a slight idea of what I'm trying to do with this book.
But not so fast. There are some more questions.
Answer your question, right?
Yes, in a sort of convoluted way. It's very interesting that you were saying before about you putting yourself on stage through the biographies of these authors that lived in Rio, because I want you to speak a little bit about how you have deglamorized, in a way, the sort of the popular biographies of these authors. When you speak about Stefan Zweig and you sort of cover, the anxieties and the angst that led to his demise and to him committing suicide, you sort of bring also the testimonials of Gabriela Mistral, of others, and we sort of give up the idea that it was not as dramatic or there were personal reasons that accounted for, him committing suicide rather than, him carrying the weight of, the Jewish plight, the Jewish diaspora. So can you let us, can you tell us a little bit more of, how you approach, how you have tried to bring some sense into what we know about these writers, because commercial publishing tends to over-glamorize lives and biographies.
No, this is a part. The book was about. It has happened to all of you, of course. It happened to me when I was in Rio. I was there in a relationship, and the relationship came to an end. And when you are not in the mood, beauty can be very painful. When you are, there's this Spanish language poet who said that the contrary of absurd is joy. No? So the moment you stop feeling joy, the moment you feel unhappy, the world becomes absurd, no? and painful. And Rio is a fantastically beautiful city, but if you're not in the mood, that precise beauty can become almost an aggression, no? and you can feel, instead of feeling it as a blessing, you can feel it as a curse. No? That's what happened to Stefan Zweig. I'm not sure how familiar you are with his work, but he was this, as I said, Jewish Austrian author who strongly believed in a European community of thought, who strongly believed in a German-speaking tradition he belonged to. He was a very successful author in his time, like Paulo Coelho or Naipaul of his time. He had, in addition to that, he had everything. He had family money. He was from a very wealthy family. So he had everything in life to enjoy himself during his stay on this planet and so on. And then all of a sudden, the Nazis appear. Germany becomes an impossible place and almost a hell for people of his beliefs and his ideas. The language he had adopted as his own and the language he believed in became the instrument of political beliefs and racial beliefs that wanted him dead, not only silent, but physically annihilated. He had to flee, he had to get a new life started in Brazil, which was a country, as I said, very beautiful and very interesting, but maybe not so when you are over almost 60 and you have left behind a whole world, the old Europe, the Europe of in-between wars, was very far away, not only physically, not only geographically, but had been destroyed. It was a homeland. His homeland was never to be recovered. It had been not only it had disappeared. The whole idea of a Europe where all the nations would be in touch, where there would be no more wars between different countries, where all the intellectuals would be exchanging ideas and building a better future common to everyone, was, for the time being, totally annihilated. It does feel a little bit like that in Europe these days, with all these absurd political new parties, extreme right parties in Germany or France, and Brexit in England and so on. It does have slightly the feeling of a beginning of a new replaying of those ideas that ended up killing Zweig. So let's cross fingers and fight actively so it doesn't happen. So again, Europe has this tendency to replay its own ghosts and its own nightmares once and over and once and again. And Marx, the philosopher, used to say that history in Europe was repeated first as tragedy and then as farce. I hope we are not again going to repeat the whole thing as tragedy after the farce, after Donald Trump's farce. Sorry, I'm wandering away from
tangent. Yes.
But what I meant is that yes, Stefan Zweig ended up in a very beautiful country, in a wonderful city, in a time where that country was experiencing very interesting cultural developments. Brazil was a fantastically rich and interesting country during the 20th century. The architecture, the music, the visual arts, the writing, the literature is probably one of the most interesting in the whole world. Brazilian modernity is, in my opinion, one of the 2 or 3 most interesting modernities alternative to the Western canonical one. But he was too tired, he was too old, he was too disappointed to be able to enjoy it. So after a while he just chose to not to keep fighting. So yeah, it's a very tragic figure. I think Zweig is always haunting writers. I think we all, writers or non-writers, fear sometimes in the middle of the night you wake up and you feel you might end up like Zweig, like losing everything that kept you in touch with your own world, with your own past, with your own feeling of belonging. So it's always the Zweig curse, let's say, is always looming there. We always, sometimes in our worst moments, when you, as we say in Spain, you touch bottom, you have this like fear of going through what Zweig went through.
Right. Of course, your first degree was in arts. You have done different collaborations with museums. You have curated exhibitions, and I can sense in your novel, in your book, a very visual Rio de Janeiro. You describe, for instance, this passage in which you sort of repeat that boat trip that took Rosa Chapelle, one of the authors depicted here, into one of the islands, and you sort of revisit, and again, we go back to this idea of de-glamorizing, because you talk about, arriving to this island and seeing the island not as, a sort of image of paradise, but rather as, this dirty place. You also describe, the cinematic scene in Rio, and there is a beautiful passage which I think you have some text that you can read about. And you also describe, the remnants of the architecture that is still existing in Rio from the glory years of the 40s and the 50s. So, in which way do you take this personification of Rio, this sort of idea of Rio as a stage? How do you approach it?
Well, Brazil, as India, and as so many other places other than Europe itself, is a feast for the eyes. And again, as I said, your eyes have to be ready to feast on what they are given. No? The book is about Rio as a particular place, but as I said, it's also about any ideal place, any place that feels like a promised land, and that turns out not to be so fantastic once you get there. So it was a way of getting Rio out of my system. It was a way of dealing with my own experience of it. But my attempt, and I'm not sure it worked. Sometimes I feel like it did. Sometimes I'm not sure about it. But it's always like that when you write a book and send it out to fight for himself in the whole open and unfair and cruel world. My feeling is that talking about Rio and talking about those precise writers and talking about my own experience there, I was attempting to address a general feeling we all have these days of looking for home without really knowing where it is anymore, of feeling that we have lost touch with our roots and with the places we belong to, and trying to get back to them and then not finding them. There was this German romantic poet, Novalis. He said, there's one fantastic verse I wanted to use as an epigraph, as a quotation, opening quotation in the book, and then I decided not to in the end, but he says, we're always going back to the house of our fathers, of our parents. We're always in the move, trying to get back, trying to reach the place we feel we left behind and we feel we belong to, and the place where we shall in the end feel at home. And that place is maybe unreachable. Maybe that place stopped existing long ago, or maybe didn't even exist. No? So the book would be about being stranded, no? About feeling that one little push, one more little effort, and we would. It's almost in our fingertips. It's almost there. We're almost there. But when you get there, the place has shifted. Home is somewhere else, and that's really like that. But if you want, I don't know. Sure. When as you must have noticed, I like talking. So I'm not sure if we have time for a bit.
Sure. So there are two shirts here. One is about Elizabeth Bishop, and the other is about the sort of the cinematic world of Manuel Puig. Which one do you want to?
I think I wanted to read an excerpt that made sense in its own. One of the writers included in the book is Manuel Puig, the Argentinian writer who was totally in love with old Hollywood movies and old Hollywood Golden Age classics. And it's interesting because he had been growing, I put that into context and then I read a little bit. He had been living in Argentina in the 20s when he was a kid, in the middle of the Pampas. And Pampas is this wide, flat extension of land south of Buenos Aires where you can travel for days on end without seeing a tree or a hill. And there's parts of it that are very dry in the summer, though it's called La Pampa Seca, the dry Pampas. And he was born there, in a place called General Villegas. That meant he was a bit of a very imaginative kid. he was a bit of a sissy too. He loved the movies. His parent was totally horrified for having this kind of let's say, a weirdo for a son. So he took refuge in the cinema. He went to the movies every evening in this little town in Villegas, and there he fell into a different ideal world. And the tropics, where he ended up living in Rio, the tropics were the incarnation. In those movies he saw very glamorous with palm trees and adventures in the jungle and so on. The tropics were a bit the incarnation of that paradise lost. No? The interesting thing is that when he became extremely successful, he sold millions of copies. He became rich enough to be able to live wherever he wanted, and he chose to go to Rio, where all that incarnation of the tropics had begun when he was a kid, and he went to the movies in Villegas. It's very interesting because once he was in Rio, once he was in this glamorous apartment in Leblon, which is in the most nicest neighborhood in Rio, he built a little cinema of his own. No? He bought himself a radio machine, he bought himself different types of TV sets, he had friends and dealers from all over the world getting copies, pirate copies of the old movies he wanted to see, and he got to invite very selected friends he had met in Rio to some of his sessions in that mini cinema he built for himself in Rio. That's touching and moving and terrible, because it means that once he got to paradise, once he got to the tropics, when he got to Rio and the glamorous neighborhood of Leblon, and he had made it, so to speak, he was in paradise, instead of enjoying himself, he reconstructed the landscape of his childhood. No? He went back to the Pampas, he went back to the movie stars he had loved when he was a kid, he went back to the evening movie he could flee to. So let's say it was a circular trip. No? He fled from the Pampas, he fled from the very repressive cultural context he had been born to, only to gradually, and after a very long journey, go back to the Pampas, go back to these movie houses where he was, as a kid, he was dreaming of, and he was enjoying himself. And it happened to me in Rio. I had this experience I will read about, it won't be very long, which was related to this idea of the cinema and of the small corners of paradise we build for ourselves in the most unexpected places. No? So after this little bit of context, let me read this little passage of my own experience in Rio that made me think of Puig and of his experience there. So it's poor Puig, you say, Manuel Puig, he started going out to the movies in Rio to have the movies coming to them. I, on the other hand, went often from the moment I arrived. Among the things that made me feel that little by little I was making friends with the city, or the city with me, were its bookshops and movie theaters. All over the Zona Azul were screens showing an array of films comparable to those on offer in any European capital, if not better, because it's not difficult to find cinemas in Rome, for example, and movie theaters are closing down left and right from Madrid to Moscow. It was a pleasure on my first nights there, when the city was still vast and hostile, maybe only indifferent, actually, as much the foreigner might take that very indifference as disguised hostility, to seek refuge in a movie theater. I would check the listings in the newspaper, choose a title, approach an unknown cinema along the unknown streets of Botafogo or Copacabana or Leblon, discover with relief that the theater did exist and that I wasn't alone in the night or the only one there. A line of unknown but friendly people had also answered the call and were willing to share a couple of hours of their inviolable karaoke routine with the movie, and in some way with me. Night hours and cruel anonymity were tempered by the signs of identity tacitly exchanged by those of us there, perfect strangers, united all of a sudden by the tenuous thread of our interest in the scheduled movie, and once the showing was finished, by a shared memory of it. The fraternity would disperse immediately at the exit, of course, and I very rarely exchanged a word with anyone. Couples, group of friends, people on their own, like me, walked away without looking back or saying goodbye. But as I lit a cigarette and started walking home, I somehow felt less alone and more fulfilled, as if coming home from a party among friends or a ceremony among equals. If not absolution or promise of salvation, going to a movie in a strange city has always given me at least the feeling of being granted a fragile residential permit, a letter of precarious but valuable citizenship for one who's just arrived and has no other documents vouching for his right or need to be there and occupy those streets. I suppose for believers it must be just as consoling to find a place of worship of their persuasion in an unfamiliar city and attend a service. One night, all this was verified in a more literal way than I had expected. In the newspaper listings, a cinema whose name I've forgotten, but that I remember as respectable and as standard as the name of any cinema in any city anywhere in the world, Metropolitan, Imperial, announced a recent French film I hadn't seen and took as yet another sign of Rio's recalcitrant francophilia. I wrote down the address. The cinema was in Flamengo, the nicest neighborhood until the 30s and 40s, when the upper classes began their exodus to the south. It retained an sleepy, agreeable atmosphere, with large eclectic buildings that had well-dark entrances like ballrooms long fallen out of use. I arrived slightly before the announced time of the single showing that evening. But there was no cinema. Just one of those old front doors, and not even a particularly large or opulent one. The concierge desk, barely visible in the darkness on the other side of the iron and glass door, was empty. I read and reread the note taken from the newspaper, walked around the block a few times, asked 2 or 3 people, but I didn't know of any movie theater. It began to drizzle, and I ended up returning to the door in question, on the verge of going home. Just at that moment, a middle-aged couple with the indefinable appearance of possible moviegoers arrived. They were walking quickly, and it was almost time for the film to begin. But they didn't seem as disconcerted as I was at not finding any sign of the Coliseum or principal cinema where it should be showing. Without hesitation, they rang one of the apartments listed beside the intercom, and while they waited for an answer, I asked them if they were there to see the same film. They nodded and smiled, just as from the other end of the intercom someone gasped, opened the door, without asking who it was. I walked in with them and saw, as I passed, a tiny sign with the name of the cinema handwritten beside the bell. We went up together silently in the old-fashioned elevator. I felt uncomfortable, amused, and vaguely apprehensive. We seemed like guests on our way to a dinner party who haven't met yet and are not quite ready to launch into introductions that transform strangers into fellow diners. At the end of the dim hallway, before the doorway of an apartment with lights on, an elderly couple awaited us. They greeted my accidental escorts like old acquaintances and said good evening to me with a smile in which I thought I saw a tinge of surprise. I felt like an intruder who goes undercover to sneak into a secret lodge. And for a moment I feared that one of our hosts was going to interrogate me or forbid me to enter. But they invited us into what seemed to simply be their home. The front hall was not overly big. It had high ceilings with original mouldings and a coat stand where I was encouraged to leave my jacket. The other couple already knew the ritual. In one corner there was a little table with a bundle of blue tickets and a small metal box into which the woman smilingly put the money with which they paid for 2 tickets. The old parquet floor creaked, and from the other side of a wide wooden door came a murmur of conversation. I, who had headed out to a movie theater, suddenly found myself in the living room of perfect strangers. A spacious room, but not too spacious, with 2 windows overlooking the streets, their shutters closed. Our hosts had patched the furniture against the walls, and at one end a roll-up screen was unfurled on its tripod. In the middle of the room, they set up 3 or 4 rows of folding garden chairs, seats for 12 or 15 people in total. Some were already sitting down chatting. Some stood beside a side table with cookies, thermoses of coffee and tea, and plastic cups. Everyone appeared to know one another and seemed like they might be neighbors. I was by far the youngest person there. I nodded the way one greets other people in a dentist's office and received smiles and slightly curious glances in return. A few more latecomers arrived, and the owners received them with an attitude of good hosts crossed with efficient box office clerks. I sat stiffly in one of the few empty seats. It was one thing to feel a sense of belonging to an anonymous fraternity of moviegoers, but quite another to feel that somewhat stifling awareness of being in someone's house, invited to a party full of strangers with nobody to talk to. I barely dared to breathe the air. Its complex and varied texture and smell, not necessarily indicative of a lack of cleanliness, but saturated with the nuances of very lived-in rooms. To alleviate a weight that felt endless to me, and also to get to the bottom of the mystery, I asked if I could use the washroom. With an imperturbable smile, the woman showed me the way. It was at the end of a hallway, past several closed doors. Deep down, I was grateful they were closed. Catching a glimpse of pots and pans for blankets and bedspreads would have been distressing. So would finding face clothes, razors, or toothbrushes in the bathroom, but in fact they were conspicuous by their absence. The bathroom was immaculate, although the ancient tiles and huge faucets were unmistakably domestic. The shower curtain, the classic from so many horror movies, was pulled closed around the bath. I hesitated but didn't end up peeking behind it. Maybe piled up in the tub, apart from who knows what other mysteries, were the soaps and lotions and creams privately removed from the little shelf under the mirror. I returned to the living room, forcing myself to think, since much to my regret I couldn't manage to feel, that it was amusing and I had it coming. I had asked Rio to let me into its private life by way of the cinema, and now, all of a sudden, I found that the cinema had turned into a literal and not at all metaphoric private life, complete with creaking parquet floors, family photos, and dusty moldings around the ceiling. Everyone was seated, and the old man was improvising a little introductory speech while the woman was handing out a page of credits. Such professional details, curiously, only sharpened the sensation of absolutely not being in a proper cinema. It almost seemed rather like a meeting of early Christians in the catacombs. There was something unmistakably liturgical in the handing out of the homemade leaflets, as if they were hymns, sheets, or psalms we would all sing together. The man concluded by inviting us to stay to discuss the film once it had finished. He went to the projector, and the woman sat down in a little chair against the wall, like a privileged acolyte or a magician's assistant who has now done all she can and confidently submits to the maestro's power. I was beginning to calculate the possibilities of a discreet escape when the lights went out. A silence more silent than silence fell. Everybody had already stopped talking and you couldn't hear a fly. during that inexhaustibly enjoyable second that precedes the first credits and the first note of the soundtrack, when the earth turns silk and seems charged with electricity. I remember the words, for where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, appearing in my head. And I noticed with a shiver how incredibly the miracle worked. In the eternal magic moment of the lights going down and the air crackling and the screen filling with light as if pulling open some imaginary velvet curtains, that well-worn little middle-class living room actually transformed itself into the Metropolitan or Excelsior cinema. A cinema that was all cinemas. And those strangers and I transformed into spectators, united by provisional, consoling, firm bond that unites people in cinema seats all over the world for as long as the spell lasts. I don't remember anything about the film except that Emmanuel Béard was in it, and I'm not even completely sure of that. My uneasiness suddenly vanished, as did my urge to flee. I didn't leave until the final credits had gone by, the lights had come back up, throats cleared, and debate began. All smiles, the host saw me to the door and said goodbye, as if they had understood from the start the fragility of my faith and didn't want to exert themselves in showing me any more miracles than the one they had no doubt I already experienced. Nor did I have any doubt. I walked home through empty streets with the sensation of having been to the cinema more truly than ever, of having understood better than ever what the cinema consists of, and the mysterious ways its ritual operates and how we take it for granted. And I also felt, mysteriously, better understood by all of that. By the cinema, yes, but also by the city itself. Looking back over the distance of several years now, and in light of all that I lived through while I lived there, that night marked one of the milestones of admission to a superior, or at least more complex comprehension of Rio. Or perhaps I should say, of our mutual recognition. I kept the pamphlet for a long time, but as is so often the case, now that I look for it, I can find it. And the truth is that now I even have my doubts about that exact address in Flamengo. I never saw it in the newspapers listing again, and on my walks through the neighborhood years later, I found it very difficult in daylight to locate the exact doorway or find the little sign beside the intercom of those that most closely remember the Imperial or the Metropolitan I remember. Thank you.